What's up, everyone? Thanks for tuning in to another episode of Niners News here on 49ers Hive. My name is Zach Hernandez. I'm joined by my co-host, Matt Llewellyn. Today, we're going to be talking about George Kittle and the recent movement on Twitter, which is pay George Kittle. Matt, can I get your initial thoughts on that?
Well, I mean, they're going to have to pay him eventually, and I think that you're seeing a groundswell, not just from fans, but from teammates as well. I know Trent Taylor's talked about it, to where it's time to pay George Kittle, and this goes into a situation where if you don't get it done, what is that going to do to team morale? Is it going to affect everybody? It's about the time where it's like he's already proven that he's the best tight end in the league. Sorry, Kansas City fans, Kelsey can't block, so deal with it. But yeah, he's in the last year of his rookie deal. He's been criminally underpaid as far as fifth rounder goes. He's well outperformed the contract, and unlike what we talked about with Raheem Mostert, he has waited until the proper time to renegotiate his deal. So he wants the extension. He wants to remain in San Francisco. Everybody wants him to remain here. And dumb rumors notwithstanding, I don't think George Kittle's going anywhere anytime soon. So as long as the team can get him signed and in a quick fashion, you don't have to worry about that hit morale that comes with, man, this guy's earned his money, but the team is just like not paying him the way that they should. So you don't want to let these things linger too long because they can become sort of a distraction. And coming off a Super Bowl loss, you definitely want it the upcoming season to be about, hey, we need to go out there and get back to the Super Bowl. And with, COVID and all this other stuff that's already going to be a distraction, you don't need any more by, essentially disrespecting one of your best players and not getting him under contract and giving him the contract that he deserves. I guess the real question is that, and that we don't know, is that where are they in terms of dollars and cents? How far apart are they? I know that Kittle's agent has talked about wanting to get him wide receiver money, which I personally think is a little ludicrous. But, I mean, again, we talked about this before. A good agent will get you, what they say they'll get you. And it's up to the player to, decide whether or not that's good enough for them. So, barring anything unforeseen, I do expect a deal to get done. It's just, the timetable. So you need to get the distractions out the window, get them signed, get them on the roster. It's the right thing to do. And let's go out there and win some damn football games.
Yeah, and, I just want to real quick credit Brad Graham over at the SF Niners. He's the one who kind of started this hashtag and kind of made it start trending. Guys like Trent Taylor, George Kittle's trainer, and, people that are, former wide receiver Quentin Patton, 49ers wide receiver. These are all guys that are kind of echoing the same sentiment. And I do agree with you. I actually spoke on this on the last Red and Gold Standard podcast with Anthony, that this is the Cinderella story of what teams want to happen with their draft picks, especially a guy who was drafted in the 5th round. They kind of cultivated him, grew him, and then he blossomed into the superstar tight end that he is, the best tight end in the NFL. So if you're not going to reward that, guys that are getting drafted this year, next year, last year, they're going to be thinking, what's going to happen to me? I'm not George Kittle. And even, if he can't get a contract extension, what am I going to get? So yeah. I do agree with you. It kind of does start making guys question things. And, as far as morale, it's kind of like we're working our butts off here as hard as we can, training every day. And for what? If we're not going to get ours, what's the point of making sure the team gets theirs, So yeah. I do see what you mean. It is tough. But, and as far as other tight ends, do you think that affects George Kittle's mindset too, where he's kind of thinking of guys like Hunter Henry, Austin Hooper, that's something from Cleveland. And then he's looking at these guys in their contracts and he's like, these guys are getting crazy money. And if you're telling me I can't get more than them, do you think it kind of creates a conflict of interest?
Well, he's going to get more than them. Austin Hooper is now the highest paid tight end in the league, but he only makes a little over 10. Everything that we've heard is that Kittle's agent is asking for Julio Jones money, which is 22. So if you're talking about the difference between, if you want to make them say the highest paid at 11, tight end money and 22, that's a huge gap. I mean, you're doubling the price, essentially. They have to meet somewhere in the middle. I know Kittle has been the go-to target. I know that he was targeted a bunch last year on 3rd and 4th downs. I know that his first down percentage in those plays was well over 50%. He's a valuable cog. He's had 2 back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons, despite what some people may say. He's going to continue to have 1,000-yard seasons because if he can do it when he's playing with trash, now that the team has some value and some good pieces around him, and they're going to have Jimmy G another year, you got Brandon Ayuk on the outside, Deebo Samuel, maybe Trent Taylor coming back, maybe Jalen Hurd coming back, all these pieces. Now, all of a sudden, there's a lot of targets to go around, and you think that would lead him to not getting as much. But the alternative to that is teams can't focus on Kittle as much. They have to pay attention to the other weapons, which means Kittle's going to be one-on-one more. And with his talent, he's going to get open more, which means he's going to get the ball more. Because let's face it, Jimmy G loves him some George Kittle, and that's the way that it is. It comes down to the amount that you're willing to pay him as a tight end. You can't just say, I'm going to give him Julio money. That's patently ridiculous. That's resetting the market in a way that no team is going to want to sit there and do. There has to be some room for compromise, whether that's more guarantees coming from the 49ers. Maybe Parag kind of lays off of some of his team-friendly magic and says, hey, you know what? We might only be able to get you $14 million a year, but at least we'll give you a mostly or fully guaranteed contract. We'll keep it short enough so that when you hit your age 30 season or your age 31 season, you have opportunity to get another contract in you, something to that effect. But asking for 22 is, to me, I'm not a GM, but to me, that's a non-starter. You can't pay him like the highest paid receiver in the league. That's just a no-go. So there has to be compromise on both sides, but it does need to get done because, it does look a little suspect if you're going to let the heart and soul of your offense and really your team, linger out there without getting a deal that's fair to him and fair to the team done.
Yeah, $22 million, man. Getting him that Julio money, it's just like you said, it's a non-starter. And if his agent were to go into the 49ers organization saying that, respectfully, they'd probably laugh and say, okay, take care. Like that. There's no way if they're not willing to negotiate down. I think we talked about this last time we talked about his contract and him wanting to get paid wide receiver money. I think you said something like 14 to 15 million tops.
Yeah.
And that's reasonable for George Kittle. He's miles better than the next tight end who's, the highest paid tight end, Austin Hooper.
Right. Well, and at 15 million, let's put it into perspective. You're getting 150% of what Austin Hooper is making, which means you're essentially, you're 50% over what the next highest paid guy is. So that's resetting the market in a huge way in and of itself. When you're talking about, I want double what, more than double of what the next best guy gets or whatever, that's just, there's no way. There's no way. Not even Mahomes got double what the next best guy got, and it's just, if anybody deserved it to be Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes kind of actually in this situation, I think kind of hurt Kittle because Mahomes took such little guarantee. Like $64 million is the full guarantee, is fully guaranteed. The 140 is only guaranteed for injury, and then the rest of it's like year to year, and they can kick the can, they can restructure, they can do whatever. So, it's not looking good for George in that regard. So, again, it's like, his agent asking for 22, the team's like, yeah, well, okay, see you later. Call us with a real offer. It's one of those situations. So. But it doesn't look good for the team because obviously everybody on media and, in the media and everything, especially teammates, they're going to be pro player. So they just have to get something done or at least, put out some information that, hey, things are getting close or whatever, it just to appease the masses.
Right. And I think especially in light of the Raheem Mostert situation that we just talked about, those contract negotiations going south and him now demanding a trade, people were speculating that perhaps George Kittle's going to hold out. And he confirmed to Matt Mayoko of NBC Sports Bay Area that was not going to happen. He gave the following quote: "Being a captain, I want to be there for my team, and I need to show the right leadership skills." So, Matt, how do you compare and contrast this against Raheem Mostert's situation, like I just said?
Well, you see which one's a leader and which one's not. So Kittle is a leader. He's going to come out. He's going to handle his business because at the end of the day, his job is to play football. His job is to be there for his team. And he knows that he is talented enough and that he's going to get paid regardless. He's going to get some type of money regardless. So it's just a matter of, what the actual numbers are. He's not worried about being a one-hit wonder like Raheem Mostert is. And let's face it, the running back position is so devalued that they could kick Mostert out and Devontae Freeman's sitting right there in free agency that they can pick up. But that would give you a very similar production. There are a lot of running backs out there you get very similar production out of. there's not a lot of players to replace George Kittle. That's just not how that works. He's too talented. But you see who the leaders on this team are and who are the guys that are just kind of in it for them. And I hate to say that about Raheem, but again, the way that he went about it was wrong. I think the way that George is going about it, hey, I'm not going to request a trade. I'm not going to hold out. I'm going to show up. I'm going to do the stuff that I need to do. You see on social media, he's working his ass off in the offseason to get ready. You know, everything notwithstanding with the world, and, you know, who knows if there's going to be a season. Hopefully there is, but, you know, he's still out there. He's doing exactly what he does to become the best player possible. And that's why he's going to get paid. It's not, hey, I did good, a little good this time. It's day in, day out, first guy there, last guy to leave, hustle, hustle, hustle. I'm a leader. I'm going to do what I need to do. Now I get paid. Simple as that.
Yeah, I do agree. That's kind of the difference between these two situations. One guy is putting himself before the team, and the other is putting the team before himself. And I do agree. Again, he's probably thinking it from the sense of it's going to happen regardless. So why should I kind of make a big fuss out of it, burn bridges with the organization in a way, maybe not fully, but you're showing your true colors when the first time when things don't go your way, you say, okay, then trade me. Or, okay, then I don't want to work with you anymore. That's not a good way to approach this.
No,
and I think George Kittle knows a lot of eyes are on his situation, mainly due to the fact that he's a superstar. He's a household name. He's the best at his position. So the whole media and fans are going to be honed in on his contract situation. So even that would probably be another reason in George Kittle's mind that, hey, this team's not going to do me wrong. You know, there's so much focus. There's so much attention on my specific situation that they're going to try and make sure they reward me appropriately.
Right.
So I agree with you in the sense that he shouldn't have gone about it. Raheem should have gone about it that way. I would have much rather have seen him go about it George Kittle's way and, say, look, that's not what I want, but we're going to go ahead and still continue to work at this together, as opposed to cutting off ties and say, okay, then you got to find someone else to pay me.
Right.
Yeah. All right, guys, that's going to do it for us today. Make sure you follow us both on Twitter. Our handles are below on the screen. And make sure you subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment below. Do you think that George Kittle is doing the right thing and acting like a leader when he's saying he's not going to hold out? Or do you think that he should kind of put himself first more in this sense and hold out and, do whatever he needs to do to get his money? And also, do you think 22 million is even appropriately in the conversation for George Kittle? And that's going to do it for us, guys.
Yeah, and go ahead and click the bell for all your notifications. We're bringing you content every day of the week here at 49ers Hive.
Thanks, guys.